Behind their sharp suits, dark sunglasses, detailed tattoos, and missing pinkies lies a secretive world where power and money are deeply connected. The Yakuza, Japan's most well-known criminal organization, control the underworld with an iron fist. But what happens when a centuries-old honor code meets billions of dollars? From secret rituals to extravagant luxury, the Yakuza have mastered spending in ways that amaze, intrigue, and sometimes frighten. In this video, we'll explore the economics behind the Yakuza, reveal their flashy cars and lavish lifestyles, trace the history that shaped them, and take a closer look at the Yamaguchi-gumi, Japan's largest crime syndicate. Now, let's dive into Yakuza economics. The Yakuza, Japan's infamous organized crime syndicates, have long been associated with extortion, gambling, and drug trafficking. But what if I told you these criminal organizations have evolved into something far more intricate and influential? No longer confined to the shadows, the Yakuza have transformed into economic giants known as Kizei Yakuza, or economic gangsters. This transformation has intertwined them with the very fabric of Japanese society, where they hold sway over legitimate businesses, financial markets, and even politics. So how did a group once notorious for street crime become so deeply embedded in Japan's economy? The answer lies in their strategic investment in legitimate enterprises. By the 1970s and early 1980s, Yakuza families controlled over 24,000 legitimate businesses, spanning construction companies, ports, entertainment industries, and even the sports world. Not just small, family-run operations. They also monopolized street vendors, who each earned about $1,000 per day. But how did they turn these businesses into a massive economic empire? One of their most profitable, yet overlooked ventures is labor brokering. They exploit marginalized men, often uneducated and unemployable, by selling their labor for construction and manual jobs. This not only provides a steady income, but also cements their control over a large workforce. Imagine having the ability to mobilize thousands of workers for any activity, legal or illegal. Could this be one of the keys to their lasting power? Their reach didn't stop at labor and small businesses. The Yakuza also infiltrated the entertainment industry, a sector that serves both as a cash generator and a way to maintain a public facade of legitimacy. They hold stakes in around 100 production companies, talent agencies, and movie studios. Additionally, they've influenced professional sports, including boxing, sumo wrestling, and even Western wrestling. This diversification generates huge revenues while keeping the Yakuza present in mainstream society. Perhaps most shocking is the Yakuza's deep involvement in Japan's financial markets, where they operate like a massive hedge fund. With over $100 billion at their disposal, they invest in startups, engage in mergers and acquisitions, trade in foreign currencies, and participate in IPOs. Their role is so significant that experts have labeled this the criminal services industry. How do they integrate so seamlessly into such a regulated environment? One key strategy is money laundering. Through real estate, stock trades, and other financial tools, they clean their illicit earnings, making them appear as legitimate profits. By moving dirty money through legitimate businesses, they not only conceal their criminal origins, but also reinvest in their growing empire. Could this sophisticated laundering system be the cornerstone of their economic dominance? The Yakuza's ambitions extend into the political sphere, where they've long aligned with far-right, ultranationalist politicians. These politicians, nostalgic for Japan's feudal past, find in the Yakuza a reliable partner to provide political muscle. For example, the Yakuza offered protection for President Dwight D. Eisenhower during his visit to Japan in the 1960s, shielding him from street protests. They also intimidate voters and, when necessary, eliminate political rivals. This symbiotic relationship has given the Yakuza significant influence over Japanese politics. But what does this mean for the future of Japan's democracy? Their political connections have secured them lucrative public contracts, especially in construction projects like subways and airports. They've even manipulated sports events, such as baseball games and horse races, to secure favorable outcomes. The Yakuza's influence reaches beyond politics into sectors like private hospitals, English schools, and entertainment venues. Their reach is vast, and their hold on society appears unshakable. But could there come a time when this web of influence unravels? At the heart of their empire is a highly structured organization that reflects Japan's cultural values of hierarchy and loyalty. The Yamaguchi-gumi, Japan's largest Yakuza family, operates much like a corporation, with a godfather or CEO at the top and 850 clans below. One of the most famous of these godfathers was Kazuo Tauka, often called the Japanese Godfather. Tauka's brilliance lay in his ability to adapt to Japan's rapidly changing economy while maintaining the traditional Yakuza values. But can such a rigid structure withstand modern pressures like law enforcement and globalization? The Yakuza's hierarchy is based on the Oyabun-Kobun relationship, where the Oyabun father figure provides advice, protection, and guidance, while the Kobun child figure gives unwavering loyalty in return. This structure creates a tightly knit, family-like organization that extends from the lowest ranks to the highest levels of power, enabling the Yakuza to thrive, even as Japan evolved into one of the most regulated societies in the world. However, loyalty can be tested by external threats and internal dissent. The financial success of the Yakuza is astonishing. By the time Kazuo Tauka died in 1981, the Yamaguchi-gumi was generating over $460 million annually, equivalent to over $1.3 billion today. A typical Yakuza soldier earns around $27,000 per year, mid-level bosses about $130,000, and godfathers at the top make around $400,000 annually, or close to $1 million in today's terms. The larger the syndicate, the more business it can conduct, and the more wealth flows up the chain of command. But could this immense wealth also be the Yakuza's downfall, drawing unwanted attention and leading to their eventual collapse? The Yakuza have remained one of the most sophisticated and enduring criminal organizations by adapting to economic shifts, investing in legitimate businesses, and wielding political influence. Their deep entrenchment in Japan's economy raises a critical question. As long as there is profit to be made, can the Yakuza ever truly be eradicated? Or will they continue to exert influence both in Japan and beyond? And what about their lifestyle with all the money they rake in? How do they spend it? While the Yakuza enjoy an opulent lifestyle, they often keep a low profile to avoid attracting unnecessary attention. However, they still indulge in some of the world's finest luxury cars. These vehicles, though, are not flashy or attention-seeking. Most people would have no idea who's inside. Yet, getting involved in their affairs could cost you your pinky. When it comes to luxury, the Yakuza have always had a taste for the best. From hidden, lavish homes in Tokyo to designer suits that would make a CEO envious. Their extravagant spending is legendary, but their love for luxury cars truly stands out. For the Yakuza, a car is more than transportation. It's a statement of power, status, and identity. To understand this fascination, we need to look back to post-World War II Japan, a nation in recovery that looked to the West for symbols of success. Enter the Cadillac. For the Yakuza, Cadillacs became synonymous with wealth and power. These American imports were more than just cars. They symbolized Japan's newfound prosperity, and the Yakuza embraced them as a way to display their dominance. However, there was a problem. Cadillacs, designed for the wide roads of America, were ill-suited for the narrow, bustling streets of Tokyo. Maneuvering a Cadillac through Shinjuku's tight alleys wasn't easy, nor was it ideal for a quick getaway. Soon, the Yakuza's love for luxury shifted to a new symbol, the Toyota Century. More than just Japan's first luxury car, the Century was a symbol of national pride. Combining the elegance of a Rolls-Royce with the reliability of a Toyota, it became the preferred vehicle not only for Yakuza bosses, but also for prime ministers and CEOs. The Century marked a move toward Japanese-made luxury, reflecting the nation's economic rise. Known for its understated design and craftsmanship, the Century became the ultimate status symbol among Yakuza elites. Why the Toyota Century? Its design blended traditional Japanese aesthetics with advanced technology. Each car was meticulously hand-built, featuring wool upholstery and a hand-painted lacquer finish. For the Yakuza, the Century was more than just a car. It was a mobile throne. As Japan's economy boomed in the 1980s, Yakuza taste for luxury grew even more refined. This was the era of the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, a car that symbolized the Yakuza's increasing influence. The S-Class wasn't just a car, but an experience, combining power, prestige, and performance. With its V8 and twin-turbo V12 engines, the S-Class provided the speed and agility needed for the Yakuza's fast-paced and often dangerous lifestyle. Its luxurious interiors, equipped with the finest materials and technology, made it ideal for conducting business on the move. The car also projected authority. Seeing an S-Class on the streets of Japan often meant that someone powerful was inside. However, as times changed, so did the Yakuza's taste in vehicles. Starting around 2012, many members traded in their sleek sedans for minivans, with the Toyota Alphard becoming their new vehicle of choice. The Toyota Alphard might not seem like the obvious choice for a group known for its love of luxury, but it's no ordinary minivan. Its high roof allows for bulletproof armor without sacrificing comfort, making it both practical and luxurious. With spacious interiors and advanced features, the Alphard has become a favorite among Yakuza members who value both safety and style. Why the shift from sedans to minivans? Perhaps it reflects the Yakuza's evolving nature. Less flashy, more strategic, and always ahead of the curve. The discreet yet luxurious Alphard fits this image perfectly, capable of slipping through the streets unnoticed while still providing the comfort of a high-end sedan. No discussion of the Yakuza's love for cars would be complete without mentioning their flair for customization. For them, a car is more than just a vehicle. It's a canvas for expressing individuality and asserting dominance. From bulletproofing to unique paint jobs, no expense is spared in making their cars stand out. Custom features like reinforced armor, advanced security systems, and personalized interiors are common, turning each car into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. But why go to such lengths, especially when these modifications might go unnoticed by the average person? In the Yakuza world, every detail matters, and every decision reflects power. A custom car is more than just transportation. It's a statement of intent, a way of saying, "I'm here, and I'm in control." The Yakuza's love for luxury cars isn't limited to daytime streets. It extends into Japan's vibrant nightlife, where high-end nightclubs and exclusive bars serve as their playgrounds. They arrive in their opulent vehicles, making grand entrances that leave no doubt about their status. These venues are often the setting for business deals, social gatherings, and strategic meetings, where the choice of car is as much a part of the negotiation as the terms on the table. Imagine a sleek black S-Class rolling up to an exclusive Tokyo nightclub. The doors open, and a Yakuza boss steps out, flanked by his entourage. Conversations pause, heads turn, and the message is clear. Power has arrived. But why this obsession with luxury cars? Is it just about taste, or does it run deeper? Perhaps the Yakuza's love for these vehicles reflects their desire to maintain a certain image, one of power, control, and invincibility. It might also be a way to navigate their own internal hierarchy, where the choice of car speaks volumes about one's status and influence. There's also the question of legacy. In a world where power can shift in an instant, where today's ally could be tomorrow's enemy, these cars may serve as lasting symbols of the Yakuza's enduring presence. After all, while empires may rise and fall, a well-crafted luxury car can last a lifetime, a rolling monument to power that once was. Now, enough about the Yakuza and their cars. What do we know about their history? How did this organized group come into existence? Perhaps by looking into their past, we can understand how they've become such a formidable force in Japan over the decades. And no, they're not like the Kardashians. They're more akin to the Sopranos or the era of Prime Al Capone. The origins of the Yakuza can be traced back to 17th century Japan, a land of stark contrasts. Samurai, bound by honor, roamed the countryside, while the common people struggled under strict social hierarchies. But what happens when these warriors, the embodiment of Bushido, the samurai code of conduct, find themselves without a master? Do they fade into obscurity? Not quite. Enter the Kabukimono, a group of masterless samurai, or ronin, who swap their katanas for flamboyant robes and their honor for a life of crime. Imagine these warriors wearing outrageous outfits, causing chaos in the streets, all while sporting audacious hairstyles. If there had been a fashion police back then, the Kabukimono would have been repeat offenders. The Kabukimono were not just a passing trend. As Japan transitioned from the chaos of the Sengoku period to the more stable Tokugawa shogunate, these rogue samurai found a new, more lucrative purpose. Over time, they evolved into two distinct groups: the Bakudo, gamblers who ran illegal gambling dens, and the Takiya, nomadic peddlers who sold goods at festivals and markets. These groups laid the foundation for what would eventually become the Yakuza, one of the world's most powerful organized crime syndicates. But how did these ragtag bands of ronin and peddlers transform into the feared and formidable Yakuza? The answer lies in their ability to adapt and survive. The Bakudo and Takiya weren't ordinary criminals. They formed loyal organizations with strict, almost feudal hierarchies, similar to the samurai clans from which many had descended. In a time when the Japanese government was too weak or distracted to maintain order, these groups filled the power vacuum, controlling black markets and offering protection to those who could afford it. And by protection, we mean the kind you couldn't refuse, unless you wanted your shop reduced to rubble. By the 19th century, the Bakudo and Takiya were no longer just small-time operations. They had become powerful criminal organizations. Their protection rackets, where businesses paid fees in exchange for security, allowed them to amass considerable wealth and influence. Imagine being a shopkeeper in Edo, modern-day Tokyo, forced to choose between paying the Bakudo or risking your livelihood. Not much of a choice, right? When Japan opened its doors to the West in the late 19th century, these groups merged, giving birth to the modern Yakuza. Not only did they survive, but they thrived. Throughout the 20th century, the Yakuza expanded their operations beyond gambling and peddling into drug trafficking, human trafficking, extortion, loan sharking, you name it, they were involved. They also infiltrated legitimate industries like construction, real estate, and entertainment, using these businesses to launder money and grow their empire. If you think about it, the Yakuza were the original diversified portfolio. But it wasn't just their criminal activities that set the Yakuza apart. Their structure and code of conduct were, and still are, unique. The Yakuza operate like a family, with a strict hierarchy reminiscent of the samurai clans from which they originated. At the top is the Oyabun, or boss, who acts as a father figure to the Kobun, or underlings. This relationship is governed by Ninkyo, a code of chivalry that emphasizes loyalty and obedience. The Kobun are expected to protect the Oyabun's honor at all costs, even if it means sacrificing their own lives. The Yakuza's code is a twisted reflection of the samurai tradition, where instead of serving a noble lord, members serve a criminal mastermind. This emphasis on loyalty and chivalry has helped maintain their mystique in Japanese society, where they are often seen as protectors of the weak and defenders of traditional values. This self-image has been bolstered by numerous films and novels that depict them as honorable outlaws battling corrupt authorities and rival gangs. However, this romanticized portrayal is a stark contrast to reality. The Yakuza are ruthless criminals who employ violence and intimidation to achieve their goals. Their criminal activities include high-profile assassinations, kidnappings, bombings, and even political corruption. When politicians begin to associate with the Yakuza, democracy is at risk. One of the most alarming aspects of Yakuza operations is their involvement in human trafficking. They have been known to abduct women and children, forcing them into prostitution or slave labor. They also engage in drug and weapon smuggling, often collaborating with international criminal organizations to expand their reach. This dark side sharply contrasts with their honorable image. Despite their criminal activities, the Yakuza have managed to maintain a degree of legitimacy in Japanese society, often viewed as a necessary evil providing services and protection that the government cannot. This has allowed them to operate with relative impunity, even as the Japanese government intensifies efforts to combat organized crime. Ironically, a group born from lawlessness has, in a twisted way, become a pillar of society in recent years. However, the Yakuza face significant challenges. Stricter laws and increased enforcement by the Japanese government have led to a decline in Yakuza membership and influence. From 70,300 members in 2011, their numbers dropped to 25,900 by 2022. Even the largest Yakuza syndicate, the Yamaguchi-gumi, has seen its power diminish. It seems the tide is turning in the battle between law and lawlessness. The COVID-19 pandemic has further impacted the Yakuza, with their businesses, both legal and illegal, suffering due to the economic downturn. Increased surveillance and movement restrictions have made their operations more difficult. However, history shows that the Yakuza are resilient and likely to adapt. The decline of the Yakuza has given rise to new criminal groups, such as the half-hoodlum gangs. These groups are less organized and more violent than the Yakuza, involved in street-level crimes like robbery and assault, posing a significant threat to public safety. So, as the Yakuza fade, are we merely trading one problem for another? The Yamaguchi-gumi, the most formidable Yakuza clan, traces its origins to Harakichi Yamaguchi, a soldier who returned to Japan after the Russo-Japanese War. Initially a dock laborer in Kobe, Harakichi quickly rose within the Ashima-gumi, a Yakuza group, before founding his own gang in 1915, the Yamaguchi-gumi. They distinguished themselves not just through brute force, but also through the cultural appeal of rokayaku, a type of narrative singing that helped them infiltrate Kobe's entertainment industry. The Yamaguchi-gumi's rise to power accelerated under Tauka Kazuo, Harakichi's brother-in-law, and their most infamous leader. Tauka, known for his violent tendencies, including gouging out opponents' eyes, took over after World War II when the gang was on the brink of collapse. Amid Kobe's post-war chaos, Tauka rebuilt the Yamaguchi-gumi, transforming it into a highly organized and diversified criminal empire. He expanded their operations into construction, gambling, and extortion, and engaged in violent gang wars to absorb rivals like the Honda Kai. By the mid-1960s, Tauka controlled 80% of Kobe's shipyard cargo and oversaw an organization with 343 smaller Yakuza families. Under his rule, the Yamaguchi-gumi not only grew, but became unstoppable. The story did not end with Tauka. By 2005, leadership passed to Shinobu Tsukasa, the current Kumicho boss of the Yamaguchi-gumi. If Tauka was the architect, Tsukasa is the executor, guiding the clan through the 21st century with a mix of ruthlessness and cunning. However, Tsukasa's reign faced hurdles, including a significant internal schism in 2015 when senior members broke off to form the Kobe Yamaguchi-gumi. This division raised questions about the Yamaguchi-gumi's dominance. Despite internal discord and external pressures, the Yamaguchi-gumi's influence remains undeniable. Their hierarchical structure, expansive territory across Japan, and operations in extortion, gambling, drug trafficking, and construction continue to make them a formidable global player with ties to international criminal organizations. In a twist worthy of a gangster movie, the Yamaguchi-gumi are also known for their acts of charity, such as providing aid during natural disasters. Whether this is a cynical attempt to gain public favor or a genuine effort to balance their karmic scales remains shrouded in mystery. The Yamaguchi-gumi's story is a complex blend of violence, strategy, and occasional benevolence, shaping Japan's criminal landscape. Their rituals are equally infamous. Imagine entering a dimly lit hall with an altar adorned with scrolls depicting ancient deities. The air is thick with anticipation as a recruit prepares to pledge his life to the Yakuza in the Sakazuki ritual, a profound commitment marked by a formal ceremony resembling a Shinto wedding. During the Sakazuki ritual, the recruit exchanges sake cups with the Oyabun, the boss. These cups symbolize the recruit's total submission to the Yakuza code and undying loyalty to the Oyabun. The sake serves as a medium binding them together in a relationship that extends beyond mere organizational ties, akin to marrying into a new family with its own rules and severe consequences for disobedience. Another infamous ritual is the yubi, or finger-cutting ceremony. If a Yakuza member dishonors the organization, they may be required to sever a finger as atonement. This grim act underscores the severe nature of failure within the Yakuza world. After the solemn Sakazuki, the mood shifts to a lively feast where the same men who pledge their loyalty now indulge in camaraderie. This contrast highlights the dual nature of the Yakuza world, where deep seriousness is followed by uninhibited celebration. During these feasts, participants often visit a local hot spring to reveal their intricate full-body tattoos, known as irizumi. These tattoos, featuring mythical creatures and samurai, are more than decorative. They are badges of honor, telling stories of courage and sacrifice. As the night ends, the Sakazuki ritual leaves not just a memory, but the forging of a new identity. The Sakazuki ritual symbolizes a profound commitment to a surrogate family where loyalty and honor are paramount, even as the Yakuza navigate the complexities of the modern world. If you enjoyed this video, check out our other videos on the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.